There's a step that may seem insignificant during the stir-frying process, but it is actually the key factor determining whether your crispy veggie and cheese egg fritters will turn out crispy and aromatic or end up soggy and greasy. If you skip this step, your fritters will completely lose their delicious flavor. Have you guessed what the secret is? First, I'll crack 2 eggs into a large mixing bowl. I gently whisk them until well combined, then add about 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. I stir thoroughly until the flour is fully dissolved and there are no lumps. At this point, the mixture will be slightly thick and smooth. I set the egg mixture aside and continue preparing the other ingredients. I peel the potatoes thoroughly, then dice them into small cubes, about 0.5 centimeters, so they cook quickly and won't be too firm when fried. Next, I soak the diced potatoes in cold water for about 10 to 15 minutes to remove excess starch. This makes them crispier when fried. Then I drain them well and pat dry. I dice the carrots into small cubes, the same size as the potatoes for uniform cooking. I dice the sausages as well. I also dice the onion and bell pepper the same way. The more evenly you cut the ingredients, the better and more visually appealing the dish will be. I finely mince the garlic. Then I chop the scallions to mix into the batter later. If I have a block of cheese, I grate it finely so it melts easily and adds a rich, cheesy flavor to the fritters. Now I heat a pan and add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 teaspoon of butter to enhance the flavor. Once the butter has melted completely, I add the drained potatoes and saute them first. I stir constantly for about 5 to 6 minutes until the potatoes soften slightly and turn a light golden color. At this point, I add the carrots and sausages to the pan and continue stir-frying for another 3 minutes. Then I add the diced onion, bell pepper, and minced garlic, stirring everything together so the vegetables absorb the oil and release the rich aroma of butter. I season the mixture with 1/3 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/3 teaspoon of paprika, and 1/3 teaspoon of sweet chili powder. Saute everything until all ingredients are cooked through and fragrant. Turn off the heat and let the mixture cool slightly before combining it with the batter. Once the sautéed vegetables have cooled down slightly, I add them all into the bowl of eggs and flour prepared earlier. Next, I add in the shredded cheese and chopped green onions. Then I mix everything thoroughly so that all the ingredients combine well. At this stage, the mixture should be thick and spoonable, not too dry but not runny either. That's the perfect consistency. Next, I place a pan on the stove and add a bit of cooking oil to prevent sticking. No need for too much. When the oil is moderately hot, I use a spoon to scoop portions of the mixture into the pan, then gently press them down with the back of the spoon to form small, round patties, like mini pancakes. I fry the patties on medium heat. Don't rush and turn up the heat too high from the start, or the patties will burn. One side turns golden and crispy, I gently flip it over. Be careful not to break the patties. When both sides are golden and fragrant, I remove them and place on paper towels to drain excess oil. Now I use a small pot to make the sauce. Melt 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, then add 1 tablespoon of flour. Stir continuously to mix the flour into the butter, creating a light, thick mixture. Then pour in 200 milliliters of fresh milk. Stir gently over low heat until the milk and roux powder blend into a smooth and fatty sauce. Then I add 50 grams of grated cheese and continue stirring until the cheese is completely melted and the sauce is smooth, fatty, and fragrant. Finally, I add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a little black pepper, and 1/4 spoon of stirring to complete the delicious fatty sauce. Finally, I put the cake on a plate served with rich cheese sauce. I can leave the sauce on the side for dipping. Each fritter is a perfect harmony of the natural sweetness of vegetables, the creamy richness of eggs, and the melty goodness of cheese. Take a bite and you'll instantly taste the nutty crispness, a mild kick of pepper, and the savory aroma of garlic and scallions. These fritters pair wonderfully with sweet and sour sauce or mayonnaise. Absolutely irresistible. They're ideal for breakfast, afternoon snacks, or a tasty treat that the whole family will love. Get in the kitchen and give it a try. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so I can keep bringing you more delicious recipes.